So Marineland's location in Ottawa, Canada is going out of business, but the even bigger problem is they have 30 beluga whales that they can no longer afford to take care of, and they have nowhere to put them. So the first thing they did was try to sell them to Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, which is a huge aquarium in China. Not only is the aquarium not sure if they want the whales, but the Canadian government straight up denied their request to relocate them. It's sort of understandable though, because in 2019 there was a law passed in Canada that said whales cannot be held in captivity for entertainment purposes, which is basically what they're sending them to China for. And not to mention, that's what these animals have been used for their entire lives living in Marineland. Canada's Minister of Fisheries says she believes that these animals belong in the ocean, as any sane person should believe. But these animals have lived in captivity their whole lives and wouldn't be able to adapt in the wild, and there's no such thing as an ocean sanctuary that can support these animals. Marineland also requested money from the government so they can afford to take care of them for a bit longer, but they denied that as well, so now Marineland's saying they have no choice but to euthanize these animals. So this is just a messy situation. Both scenarios suck. You don't want these intelligent whales to live the rest of their days in a giant tank forced to do tricks, but it would also suck if 30 of them had to die because of our mistakes and money. That's what this is all about. It's about money. Marineland is going bankrupt and now these whales have to die because of it. It just sucks. I'll show you guys one of the news clips I found so you can see what they're saying about it.
China's Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, one of the world's largest oceanariums, told CBC News it's still trying to decide whether or not to buy the whales from the amusement park. In 2019, Canada outlawed keeping whales and dolphins in captivity for breeding or entertainment. Exporting them requires federal approval. Animal rights advocates see this as a test of that law.
The federal government can't grant those permits unless it's in the best interests of the whales for them to be exported.
That's going to be up to the Department of Fisheries and Oceans.
It's on my desk. I will make the decision shortly, and it will absolutely speak to the health of the whales.
It's not as simple as just calling up FedEx and say, hey, I've got a shipment for you overnight, please. A lot of planning has to go into it. The animal must be healthy. You cannot send off a sick animal that could either die en route or spread disease. So they have to have a clean bill of health.
Marineland didn't respond to numerous requests for comment about the permit application. For more than 60 years, the theme park was a popular destination. But this year, it didn't open and started selling off amusement rides. The future of the park, like its water-bound inhabitants, uncertain.
So as you heard this man say here, shipping 30 whales across the world to China is no easy task. That would be a huge process, and I'm not even sure how exactly they'd do that. There's also a whole bunch of precautions and procedures that would have to happen before they do it. Like he said, they have to ensure that all the whales are healthy so they don't spread disease to the other animals in the park. So now Marineland and the Canadian government are in a really awkward situation, and honestly, I'm not even sure what the solution is going to be here. I really don't want to see 30 whales get euthanized, especially beluga whales, since they're just so beautiful and intelligent. But in my opinion, what I think the best possible option is here, and I'm not even sure if this is possible, but I think the government should fund Marineland so they can take care of the whales for a few months longer at least. Then while that's happening, they need to organize some sort of sanctuary for them to live the rest of their days in. Because as bad as it is that Marineland has captive whales for entertainment purposes, which recently places like Marineland and SeaWorld have really taken a lot of heat for, and I support that, but I definitely think the Canadian government should have planned this out a little better when they passed the law in 2019. Like, they should have seen this coming when they passed the law. It should have been pretty obvious that places like Marineland are going to be shutting down, but they still have live animals in their possession, and I think they should have thought this through a little better and maybe planned some sort of place to put them when the time comes that these places go bankrupt, which is exactly what's happening right now. But yeah, overall pretty terrible situation. We still don't know what's going to happen next for these whales, because at the end of the day, it's them suffering and it's them seeing the consequences. But make sure you spread the word, tell your friends, and let's just hope at the end of all this, these whales can live the rest of their lives peacefully, because that's what they deserve, not to be held in a tank forced to do tricks. So yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. See ya.